The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to our webinar tonight. And I really appreciate your patience with the hiccup we had last night. So before we start, please can you let me know if you can see my slides and if you are able to hear me, because there was an incident last night where I had no sound. But I'm hoping that tonight everything will go really smoothly and that you will all be able to hear what I'm saying and see what I'm putting up there. So I'll thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So you can hear me today and you can see me, which is excellent. So welcome tonight. I'm Pauline Delaney, and I'm really pleased that you've taken time out of your busy schedule to be here tonight. So before we get started, we're going to be talking obviously about 5 killer strategies to get online and leverage your one-on-one coaching business. So before we get started, let's just have a little chat about what we're going to cover tonight. So we're going to be talking about how to leverage your coaching business and have the time freedom to have a fantastic lifestyle as well as a fantastic business. And we're going to be talking about ways to create ongoing passive income in your business and creating a leveraged model, which means that you can constantly add more and more clients and build your business dramatically without increasing the time that you're spending in the business. And in fact, you're probably going to be spending less time in the business, but will be making much more income. So I am going to be covering a lot today, so please forgive me if I talk fast, because I do tend to do that when I get excited. And this topic tonight is one that I am really passionate about. Now, if you do have any questions or comments to make, I would love you to pop them up in the chat box, and I can go through them as they come up. And that would be really great to have some interaction here. So who is this training for? Who's this live training for? Well, this webinar is for you if you are a coach, if you're currently working one-on-one, but you want to move from one-on-one to one-to-many. If you are someone who is struggling with your time management, then you are in the right place tonight. And if you want to increase your income without losing your balanced lifestyle. And perhaps if you know that being online is the way to go, but you just don't know how to do it effectively. And if you are keen to become visible and credible fast, then you're in the right place today. So hopefully you can relate to some of these descriptions, and maybe some of them might sound just like you. Now, my goal for you today is to give you some great information and to really open up your eyes to the possibilities of using the internet to create a really successful coaching business that's going to allow you to move away from working time for money, and instead will allow you to create a business which can grow drastically without your time commitment and stress levels doing the same. So no more risk of overwhelm or burnout. Now I'm going to do the best that I can with the time we have today, and at the end, if you're interested, I'm going to show you the best way forward for you to implement these principles into your own business. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favour and stick around until the end of the webinar tonight, because I do have a great opportunity for you later, but I'm only going to be offering this to those of you who stick around until the very end. And I'm happy to send a copy of the slides to anyone who would like them. So please comment in the chat box with your best email so I know how to get them to you, and I'll send these to you after the webinar. So before we get into the gist of what we're talking about, I thought I'd just give you a very brief background on me and where I'm coming from. Now, I have been in the health industry for the past 27 years, working as an optometrist. And since having my children, I have combined my work and family successfully, working part-time since my first child came along 21 years ago. So I have 4 children. I have 3 boys and a girl, and they are aged between 12 and 21. So lots of things happening in my house. And in the past 3 years, I've made quite dramatic changes in my life. So in 2013, 3 years ago, I attended an internet marketing seminar, and I was instantly captivated with the potential that there was online by creating that online business. And since then, I've immersed myself in learning about the internet, about marketing, business, social media, email marketing, website development, copywriting, all of that. So I've studied quite intensely and have implemented much of what I've learnt into creating my own business. And personal development has also been a huge focus for me in the last year or so. And I've studied life coaching and NLP, and have now done hundreds of hours of training and have had many beautiful, beautiful clients. So my focus now is to work with a combination of coaching, personal development, and the internet marketing all combined in together. So I found myself at that time in a constant state of overwhelm. I found that I had no time, and I was really caught up in that busyness of life. And I was afraid to grow my business because I knew that if this happened, I was going to be even busier and was going to have even less time to spend with my family outside of work. So I equated having more clients with less time with my family. So that's, of course, quite a difficult concept to allow my business to move forward. So what I noticed was that there are many other coaches who are, oh, you can't see any slides. I've just had a look at this and you can't see the slides. Let's just see if we can see them now. I'm hoping that was, just notice that little comment there. Can you see the slides now? Still no slides? Let's have a little look here. How about now? Can you see the slides now? Just wait till I get a comment back from Jo, who's commented that she couldn't see the slides yet. I'm hoping that they're popping up now there. So let's keep going anyway. So as I mentioned, that I noticed a lot of the coaches were struggling for leads and were concentrating on their one-on-one clients, and they were working time for money. So they had limited time and a capped income. And they also tended to undercharge for their time. Oops, what are we doing here? There we go, sorry about that. Limited income, and they're undercharging for their time, as I said. And of course, that's going to be really destructive to your income if you're working time for money. And they were reluctant to grow their business because of that fear of overwhelm. Okay, now I'm hoping that my slides are showing up now. Are you able to see my slides, everybody? If I could have a comment that hopefully you can see the slides, that would be fantastic. And that you can still hear me. Obviously, you'll be able to answer me if you can hear me. All right, so let's keep going. So it doesn't have to be like this. By harnessing the power of the internet, you can have a global reach. So you can create that leveraged business model, and you can have lots of clients without using up all your time. So a great lifestyle is possible. You can have that leveraged business model. And you don't need to fear that you're going to stop using your brilliant coaching skills, because of course you will. When you are coaching group coaching or coaching one-to-many, then you're going to still be using your coaching skills, but just in a different form. So what I do is I empower these coaches to actually get their own business online so that they can have a larger reach and influence. They can easily attract their ideal client, and they can then truly create a leveraged business where they're using their time very efficiently and very effectively and are working one to many rather than within the constraints of that one-on-one relationship. So my focus now is working with coaches who are brilliant at what they do and love coaching, but they're caught up in their coaching and they haven't yet created the business success that they want. So they're either very busy working one-on-one and have that huge time commitment to their clients, or they struggle to attract and then convert potential clients into actual paying customers. So there are 5 killer strategies to get online and leverage a one-to-one coaching business, and let's go through them now. So the first one is to build your tribe. So what does this mean? This means to have a group of people that are yours, that they're loyal to you, they like what you have to sell, what you have to offer, and what you stand for. And they are people who will follow you and love the information that you are offering them, and therefore eventually are going to love what you have to sell them. Number 2 is to be visible and credible online. So that, of course, means to be constantly, not in people's faces, but just to be there, just in the background, so that whenever someone is on Facebook or they're on one of the other social networks, then you're going to be there consistently, and you're going to stay top of mind with them. It's going to give you that credibility of just repetitiveness by you're always there, and they know that you can be counted on and that you have that expertise. And if they have a problem that is in your realm, then you're going to be the person that they think of to help solve that problem. And that goes into the social media power, because social media is so influential. You're able to reach so many people by using the different forms of social media that are out there. You know, there's so many of them nowadays. We've got Facebook, which is the big one and the one that I use the most. And I love Facebook, both for my business and also personally. I find it's really great to stay connected with people. You've got YouTube and the power of using videos and people being able to see you or being able to hear your voice and get much more of a sense of you and the way that you work. You've got things like Instagram, which is fantastic for people with a very visual business, and LinkedIn for people who have business people as their clients. That's going to be where you're going to shine. So number 4 is to recycle your stuff. And we'll go into this a little bit later. And number 5 is programs and automation, which is the really exciting way that you can really grow your business without having to put in so much of the time component when you are online. It's the beauty of it. So let's go into number 1, which is build your tribe. And you may have heard the saying, the money's in the list. Now, what does that mean? As I was saying before, by having a list or a database, that is a group of people that you have gathered the email addresses of, their name and email, and you have a record of them that you can then contact and nurture and send stuff out to, so that you can share your expertise with them, you can give them information, you can share stories with them, you can interact with them back and forth directly. And this is really, really, really important, because the more people you have on your database, the more leverage you are going to have, and the more you can get your message out there very quickly, and you can spread your influence that way too. And how are you going to get these people on your list or on your database? The easiest way and the most common way is to offer some sort of a free gift. So an incentive for them to give you their email address in exchange for this free gift. And of course, this free gift needs to be something that's going to really appeal to them. So something that's going to solve one of their top of mind problems. Something that's going to be something that's going to make them want it enough that they're willing to exchange their email address for it. And we'll talk a little bit more about lead magnets in a few minutes, which is another word for this free gift. But that is something that you may want to start thinking about now if you haven't already got one. What is it that your audience, your ideal client would like that you could offer as a free gift for them to then give you their email address and start building up your database? So the important thing is to get their name, get their email address, especially their email address, because email marketing is targeted. If you have a Facebook page and you put a post on the Facebook page and you have people who like your Facebook page, then some people who like your Facebook page will see that post, but a lot of them aren't going to see that post. With an email, you have a route directly into your potential client, your prospect or your potential client, your lead, into their inbox. So you are guaranteed of getting closer to them. I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to necessarily open the email, but you've reached them. So you've got that in, and they have a much higher potential of seeing your message and following through with whatever you are offering or talking about in that message than by just putting something out, say, on social media. So email marketing can't be underestimated. So what you can do is, for example, if you have a new program that you've developed or something for sale, if you've got a new ebook or whatever it is, you have a ready-made market sitting out there that you can simply send an email out to and potentially make money simply by sending out that offer. So you really have a ready-made audience of potential clients and customers because they are your ideal client. That's why they have been attracted to you by the free gift you have put out there, by the posts, the newsletters, the information you're sending to them regularly, so that you can demonstrate to them your expertise. They can get to know you. They can get to like and trust you, and eventually be able to become clients as well and buy from you as well. So moving on to number 2, strategy number 2, which is to be visible and credible online. So the first thing people think about with this is having a website. And this is not necessarily all that you need. You don't necessarily just need a website. People don't even need a website to be online and be credible. But it helps. It gives you that, I suppose, the proof that you have something there. It's a place people can go and find you. They can learn a little bit more about you. So it's like a brochure, I suppose. People can go and find out whether you are the sort of person they would like to do business with. Social media is, as I mentioned before, is huge. So I would definitely recommend anyone, even a novice who knows nothing about the internet and getting online, to at least get onto Facebook as an individual, and then eventually have your own Facebook page where you can again attract people who are your ideal client, who are going to want the sorts of things that you have to offer, and it gives them a place to connect with you. and it doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't cost you anything. So this is how you can start to gather leads. Leads being prospective clients, so people who are interested again in what you have to offer, and you have a solution to the problems that they have. And you can do this at first with what's called a lead magnet. Now, this is what we were talking about before. So a lead magnet is, a prospect or someone who's a potential client is your lead, and the magnet is obviously to attract them to you. So you want something that's going to attract them to you enough that they will give you their name and email address, as we mentioned before. And this can be, it doesn't have to be something huge. And nowadays, people don't want a 200-page ebook. They want something very small, very targeted. So if you can choose one specific problem that you can solve and use that in all your marketing, and it's good if it's their top of mind, they're really their nastiest problem, the one that they would pay the most money and time to have solved. And if you can target this and create some sort of a solution around this top of mind problem, then you're going to be able to create something that's very quick to digest, because we are all so busy nowadays that people haven't got time to sit down and read that long ebook. They want something like a checklist. They want something like a swipe file. And a swipe file it's I suppose like some pre-written things, like you could have a swipe file of emails, welcome emails or something like that, where people just have to put in the blanks. So you've got that ready-made copywriting done. A checklist is great. A cheat sheet, maybe some sort of a template or a worksheet that's going to be able to be consumed very quickly, is small, short, sharp, to the point, but very, very targeted, and is going to have a very specific outcome that is going to be very attractive to your potential client. If you can also be very consistent, so if you are online every day, if you are in Facebook groups making comments, if you are always being seen adding value to people's posts, for example, then again people are going to see you as the expert and are going to they're going to have obviously you in mind if something comes up and they know that this is your field of expertise. Then you're going to be the person they will either want to use themselves and hire, or recommend to their community, because everyone loves as well to be able to help other people. And if they know someone who can help them with a certain problem, like you, if they know you are the person that solves this problem, say you're the person who helps people lose 5 kilos, then if someone comes up and one of their friends or family or a colleague mentions that that's what their issue is, they're looking to lose weight, then you're going to be the person they're going to recommend to do that, because of your consistency and being visible and always offering value. So not selling, but just offering value. And of course, it's a great idea to hang out where your ideal client hangs out. So find out where they like to be, whether they like to be on Facebook, which is quite common. And if they are on Facebook, where are they on Facebook? What sort of Facebook groups are they in? What sort of people do they interact with on Facebook? What times of day are they on Facebook? If your ideal client is a mum who has kids, then between, say, 2:30 and 3:30, she's going to be there maybe sitting in her car, waiting to pick the kids up from school, scrolling through Facebook. If you can post something up at that time, she's going to be much more likely to see that in her news feed. So, or maybe in the evening when the kids have gone to bed, for example. So if you can do a bit of research and find out, one, where your ideal client hangs out online, and 2, when they are online, then you are going to be much more targeted with everything that you do when you are doing your social media marketing. And choosing, as I said, the platform as well where your ideal client hangs out. So if you are someone who is targeting business people, particularly corporates or people in either small or even the larger businesses, then perhaps LinkedIn is going to be a more suitable place for you to be posting and concentrating your efforts. So social media power, which is what I was just talking about there. So what I would recommend is to create a Facebook business page. If you want to have somewhere to a platform, or not a platform, a stage, I suppose, for you to be able to present stuff to people who are going to be interested in you and what you have to offer, then having that Facebook business page is going to allow you somewhere that you can gather people together and you can post information, you can post offers to them, you can really share yourself and start to build up your database by having that, and your influence online by having that Facebook business page. You can also think about a Facebook group. With a Facebook group, you're going to have, it's more of a community because it's a lot more interactive than a Facebook page. With a Facebook page, people who like your page are not going to see everything that you post on your page. The way that Facebook works, that's not going to happen. With a Facebook group, there is a much higher possibility that people who are members of that group are going to be seeing the different posts and interactions that are happening on that group. You're going to get a lot more, once your sort of group gathers some momentum and you have defined the focus for the group and the audience that you are wanting to attract in that group, you're going to get a lot of interaction in there, which is really fabulous. And it's going to build the sense of community. You're going to find people are helping each other with things, and you as the expert are going to be able to manage that and interact here and there, and it gives you a lot more credibility being, I suppose, the overseer and the manager of that vibrant Facebook group. So that's something to think about. You can have both. You can have a business page and you can have a Facebook group. It really depends on what your objectives are online and what you want to achieve from them. And something that I do tell all of my clients is that with whatever you do, whatever you decide, whatever marketing you want to do, whatever, if you're going out networking, if you are making a phone call even, you need to assess and define your intention by doing that action, rather than just thinking I've got to do everything. I have to post on Facebook today. I have to write an article. I have to make 10 phone calls today. I have to go to 3 networking events. You need to define your intention with whatever you are doing. So if you're going to a networking event, for example, why are you going? What are you wanting to get from that event? Are you looking for a client? Are you looking for a joint venture partner, someone that you can, whose business may complement your own, and you can then do some sort of a project together? Are you looking for someone who you can align with and refer to some of your clients? Are you looking for someone just to build your network so that you have more people to call on to be able to provide services to your clients, for example? So really, really important to be very clear on why you are doing something, rather than just feeling that you've got to do everything and just be busy because you're throwing all these different activities into the mix and hoping that one of them is going to produce great results. So building your credibility is great, is done really well by doing all those things I just mentioned, and by being consistent. Again, you're going to stay top of mind. So this is something that I really can't emphasize enough. Be consistent with social media. Be on Facebook 5 out of 7 days or 7 out of 7 days. You don't have to write long, rambling posts every day, but if you can have a few groups that contain your target market, that you are interested in yourself, genuinely interested, that you can add value to, that you can comment on people's posts, you can maybe put your own post up, you can interact with people, and they start to get to know you. And again, they're going to know that if somebody needs your service or your product, then you are going to be the one that they're going to call on. And post a combination of content when you're on social media. So you don't just go out there and sell, and here's my ebook, and here's my new course that I'm doing, and here's a workshop, here's a webinar, come, pay, sell. Instead, just spread out the different types of posts that you do there. Tips, strategies, articles that you've posted somewhere else, share the link on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Post up photos of things on Instagram. And I wouldn't recommend you going on every social media platform. For myself, I concentrate particularly on Facebook and also on LinkedIn. The others, I have my toe dipped in the water, but it's a token thing. So it depends on your business. It depends on your focus. It depends on what you want to achieve, what your intention is again. It depends on where your ideal client hangs out and where they like to spend their time on social media. And that's where you need to go as well. And don't be afraid to get personal. I know of several people who have been posting on Facebook regularly with great content and brilliant articles and insights, and they get occasional interactions from people and comments and a bit of back and forth. But if they post up a photo of their dog doing something silly, then it's just incredible the way that affects people, and the feedback and the interaction they get from that, and the sharing. And of course, when people share your post, then those people's friends see the posts, and their friends see the posts, and you get shared organically through this huge audience that you wouldn't be able to reach just on your own. So if you can put out a bit of yourself and, even be vulnerable, people, and you're not manipulating them. I'm not telling you to manipulate people. But if you are vulnerable and you put yourself out there and you are honest, then people are going to really respect you for that. And that's the sort of thing that really, really sticks in their mind too. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. So let's move on now to number 4, which is recycle your stuff. Now, this is really exciting because this allows you to reduce the time that you spend doing something, because you're going to do it once and use it over and over again. So, for example, you can write articles, so relevant articles to your niche, and your niche, of course, is the area that you've chosen, the very specific targeted area or type of demographic that you have chosen to work with. You can film a video. You can do a tips video or different strategies, and they don't have to be long. In fact, the shorter the better, because people haven't got time to sit down and watch a 15-minute video. They want a 30-minute video, a 30-second video, short, sharp, get in and get out, and they can watch it and they can get the information and they can just get used to seeing you over and over again. So you can choose the article, so write the article. You can then do lots of things with it. You can choose points out of the article and create the videos from the points. So a tip from the article, a couple of bullet points from the article turn into a series of videos. You can then share and repost your articles everywhere. So if you have a blog on your website, for example, you can put the article on there. You can post it up on LinkedIn, and all of your connections on LinkedIn will then be able to see and comment on your article. You can share it on Facebook. If you have any types of other people's blogs or websites who also contain your ideal client, but perhaps they are offering them a different service. For example, say if you were a business coach and there was someone else who was an accountant, then perhaps you may have the same clients, but you're not offering them the same service. So you could work together to be able to offer value to each other's clients in a different way. And that just gives you more of a reach, and you're able to put out your expertise in more places in different directions. You could turn it into a webinar. So your article, you can choose the points in the article and turn it into a webinar or even a series of webinars. You could do a workshop, create a workshop, film the workshop, have someone come and film it, or even just set up a nice video camera yourself so that you've got it then as a DVD. You can record it as an audio and have even a video. It doesn't have to be a CD. It can obviously be a digital copy on YouTube, an audio, which can be an MP3 or a CD. You can create PDFs of the content, so you can have it transcribed, and you can even sell the workbooks. Now, I'm going to go through now a really, really exciting strategy, which is the brainchild of Brett McFall, who is my internet marketing mentor, who I've worked with quite closely. And he is brilliant, and he has had he's got this process whereby he can help you turn not help you, he can give you the idea on how to turn a $30 ebook into a really, really high priced offering, so even to a $4,000 product. So let's say we start with an ebook, a $30 ebook. So you can create this yourself, or you can get someone to ghostwrite it for you. You could find someone on one of the outsourcing type of websites called Upwork or Fiverr. Fiverr is FIVERR.com, and that's where you can very cheaply find people to do just about anything. And if you want someone to write an ebook for you, and format it, for example, you can get someone very cheaply to do that on Fiverr or Upwork, or Odesk is another one. So create the ebook. Then you've got a product. You've got a $30 product to sell. Then you can record the ebook by recording it using Audacity software, which is a free software that allows you to record your voice, and you then double the price, but you're not having any extra costs because it is still a digital file. So there you go. So you've got a book. You've got an ebook. A digital file costs you nothing once you've had the book written. You record the ebook and double the price. So you could do this yourself. You could read it out yourself and record it, or you could pay someone to do this. So this is outsourcing if you wanted to. Then you could add in video tutorials, which are created by recording your screen while also recording your voice. And you can do this on a PC with Camtasia, which is a paid product, and that will allow you to do that. Or if you are on a Mac like I am, then you can use ScreenFlow, which is again a paid product, but it works brilliantly. And then you have, or you can even use webinar software like I'm using today. So you can record your screen. So you could have a PowerPoint, for example, plus your voice, and create a video tutorial from there, or a series of video tutorials that are based on your ebook. Next thing you could do would be to add in interviews with experts in your industry. And you can record these in Skype, for example, and the price can jump up then to $500. And this is how I started way back in my business. I was then concentrating more on being fit and healthy after 40, and I gathered together a collection of experts. I had a personal trainer, I had a nutritionist, I had a hormone specialist. Who else did I have? A stylist, mindset coach, all these different experts that I was able to interview and record on Skype. And then I had their interviews that I could offer as products or as bonuses to different programs that I'd created. And the beauty of having that is you've got lots of different products within that. So you've got the video that you've recorded of the interview. You can also create an MP3, so just an audio of the interview. And then you can have the interview transcribed as well, which is what I did, and turned into a PDF, so that you can pay someone to transcribe all of the interview word for word, and then you've got those 3 different products from the one interview that you've done. You can add in personal coaching sessions, and this can add potentially another $1,000 to the price, depending on the amount of sessions you have and how long they are and what form they would take as well. So these are all really things that should be stimulating your senses and making you think of the possibilities that you can do by just having this one ebook right from the start, and the different things that you can do with it just by being creative. You can record the coaching sessions like we've just talked about here, whether you recorded them, whether you were live with someone, whether you were face-to-face, whether you were online, whether you were on the phone, whatever it is, you could record the sessions and then add those into the price as well. You could turn your product, so your ebook, into a live seminar, and that really makes your price jump up. You could add, you could be charging $2,000 for that. You could record the seminar and add in the tangible CDs and DVDs into the product, and you can sell the whole product license, the whole package for $4,000. So you've gone from a $30 ebook right up to $4,000. And if you're really ambitious, you could sell the product license for the whole thing for $10,000. So by really being creative, just by having one really meaty piece of content, you can use it in so many different ways. And you don't need to be constantly creating new stuff. You can just use the same thing and use it in all these different ways and create so many different income streams from that. So let's move on to programs in automation. And this is where the internet really comes into its own, because there are so many exciting things that you can do online that are a lot more challenging, shall we say, to do when you're offline and you haven't got the this global audience. So CRM and autoresponders. Now, what's a CRM? That's a customer relationship management. So that's the way that you can look after your customer records, I suppose. So if you meet someone, you can put them into a database. When you have you can write some information about they're on there. You can write down, record when you had a phone call with them, what the outcome was, when you are going to catch up with them next, when you're going to send them an email. All of that can be recorded so that you can keep track of what's happening with your potential clients or your actual clients. And it can all be automated so that it's not just in lots of different little books here and notes here and there. And an autoresponder. Now, autoresponders are brilliant and they're not scary. There are a lot of different types of autoresponders. An autoresponder really is something that it's something that's set up so that when a certain action happens, say for example, you have a lead magnet, as we talked about before, and someone gives you their email address for that lead magnet, they will then go into your autoresponder. So they will then go into a system or a program whereby that triggers an email to be sent to them. And once they have that email, then they are regularly sent emails that you have set up automatically. So in one day they may be sent a reminder email, have you looked at your ebook yet? Have you looked at your checklist? Here it is. Maybe 2 days after that you might send them something else about something that might be of interest to them. Hey, I saw this online, this article about losing weight. I thought you might be interested. Whatever it is. And you have that system set up, that sequence of emails, so that it's on autopilot. But it's triggered by that first action of them opting in to your database. And as we mentioned before, lead magnets are really important. And the way that they work is that when we were talking at the start about websites, I said that a website is great, but you don't have to have a website. What you really do need to have, though, is some sort of a page. So for a lead magnet, for example, or your free giveaway, you need somewhere for people to go to put their name and email in. And that somewhere is called either a landing page or a squeeze page or an opt-in page. And all it is really is a single web page with very minimal information on it, because the focus of the page is for someone to write in their name or email address. So it will have an opt-in box on there, and it'll have the title of whatever it is and a description of what you are offering and some nice graphics. It'll make it look really enticing. It'll be appealing to the sorts of things that they like to do and the colors that they like, because this is your ideal client you're attracting. And they will put their name and email address in there, and then that will send them into your autoresponder. Now, autoresponders can vary from the free autoresponder, something like MailChimp, which is a great place to start, along various incarnations and various price points, right up to the huge Infusionsoft software, which can be hundreds of dollars a month or more. At the moment, I am using ActiveCampaign, which is a brilliant software and has lots and lots of, it has a combination of autoresponders and the CRM, and allows you to set up different campaigns and automations, and can be used really well by people who either have lots of experience with tech, or even those who are quite new and need their hands held along the way. But it's really important to get that up and running quickly. And MailChimp is really easy to use and is free. So if you're looking for something just to get you started, then that's where I would be starting. So email marketing is, I suppose, what we were talking about just then with the autoresponders. And with programs, having a program, the brilliant thing about having a program, your own online program, is that you can do the work once to create the program, and it's done, and you don't have to do it anymore. You know, it can be up there, just people can be going in your system, in your program, and coming out the end 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks later, having completed the program, and you've done a lot of work to get it set up there, but you're not having to do that over and over again. So creating lead magnets is really important, and also developing your funnel. Now, this is something that scares people as well, the funnel. What's a funnel? A funnel, as you know, is something that's open at the top and gradually gets narrower and narrower down the bottom. So in terms of a sales funnel, what does that mean? Well, at the top, lots and lots of people are coming into your funnel. So that's your free giveaway or your lead magnet. So lots of people will be opting in and getting your lead magnet. As the funnel gets a little bit narrower, there are less people in that funnel. And these are people who will maybe progress to the next stage of your funnel, your sales funnel, which is maybe a $47 video course, for example. So they're starting to know, like, and trust you a little bit, and they're going to pay some money for what you have to offer them. Then as the funnel gets a little bit narrower, the price goes up. Maybe it's a $497 short online course. Then the funnel gets a little bit narrower, the price jumps up again. Maybe it's $997. It's a home study course. It's got some CDs in there. It's got DVDs in there. The price jumps up even more as it gets narrower down that funnel, and less people are moving through there, but these are higher quality clients that are moving further and further down your funnel. Then you're jumping into things like maybe a course with live webinars each week. Maybe you've got a workshop once a month. You might have mastermind calls, as well as the automated portion of the course. And then all the way down to the bottom, usually the high end product will be perhaps, say, one-on-one coaching with you. That's a huge investment for them, but they're getting your time. So the more time you invest with a client, that's where your price jumps up. So the more automated something is, it's not going to be costing as much, because you're not having to put in that personal time. So the further down the funnel you go, the clients become more and more targeted and more invested, and they're going to be higher quality clients, because, as you know, the more people pay, the more they pay attention. So the more that the client is having to invest, then the more likely they're going to be to follow through with the recommendations, there'll be more and more accountability, and they're going to get much higher quality results by moving all the way down that funnel. So that's what you want to build up. You want to be able to build up that funnel, and that also allows you to have that smorgasbord of offers, so you've got something to cater for every price point and every level that people are at in your niche. So if you only have a $20,000 product, then you're going to be cutting out a lot of potential clients. If you've also got a $500 price point, then that's going to allow people who are able to enter at that level to have somewhere to be able to enter in at. And it's really important to nurture your list so that you're continually offering them value and staying in contact with them and staying top of mind with them. Now, the beauty of having an online course is that you can do the work once and then record it and use it over and over again. So, for example, you can record a lesson or a webinar and post it up online for participants to view at their own convenience, day or night, whenever they want. But imagine having a one-on-one client. So perhaps you're spending an hour together a week. Therefore, 10 clients are going to take up 10 hours a week. 20 are going to take up 20 hours a week. So as you can see, as the numbers get bigger, your free time starts to dwindle and you're going to eventually reach your capacity. So your limit for the number of clients you can physically service, because as you know, we all have a limited amount of time. So if you imagine instead that you record an hour of coaching in the form of a webinar, for example. Now, if you have one or if you have 20 clients watching this, it's still only going to take up that 1 hour of time. And once you have recorded it, it doesn't matter how many times it's watched or how many people watch it, that 1 hour that you put in to create it has now been leveraged indefinitely, and you're not having to do any further work here, which is brilliant. Now, this principle, of course, can be applied in so many other areas. So group coaching, for example. So if you have a 1 hour coaching session for one person, it's going to take exactly the same time as a 1 hour group coaching session for 5 or 10 or even 20 clients. And then if you factor in a workshop or a retreat or a seminar, then you can reach a huge number of people at once and have a far greater reach and influence while still only investing that same hour of your time. So what are the keys to having a successful program? Well, the 3 keys are really coaching, content, and community. So coaching, everyone has fears, they have challenges, they need someone to be accountable to, they need someone to bounce their ideas off, and that's where that coaching aspect comes in. And content, of course, if you have a course that you've developed, it has to have some meat on it. It has to educate your participants. It has to provide them with expertise and skills and knowledge. And the community aspect can be created with a private Facebook group, and people can then interact with each other. The people who are going along a journey together doing the same course, they can boost each other up, they can lift them up when they're feeling depressed or like everything's not working, and they can also create connections with each other and potentially work together or connect outside of the group and have that real community aspect, which is great. Now, it's really important as well in a program to appeal to all the modalities. So as coaches, we know that we need to appeal to people who are visual, who like to see stuff. So maybe having a video or having a PowerPoint that people can look at. The audio, so hearing people's voices, maybe having music, having that oral input is really important. Having the feeling, being able to talk to each other and spend time together with other people so that you're not just on your own. So it's really important to have all of those covered when you're in a course, and that's going to give you the most well-rounded and informative and fun and exciting course, because anyone can create a course that's a lesson here and a lesson there, and this is what you do, here's your outcome. But if it's why not present it in a fun and exciting way so that people are really engaged and they're going to connect with the content and they're going to be much more inclined to follow through and continue doing the course as well. And having that clear outcome is really, really important because people need certainty. When they go into something, when they're investing their time and their money into doing a course or a program, then they need to be crystal clear on what the outcome is going to be. And that outcome needs to be something that is really going to stir them up and excite them and make them really want to work towards that outcome. Having short, sharp lessons again is a great idea because it makes it succinct. If you've got a 5-minute or a 10-minute or a 15-minute session or recording or lesson or tutorial, then someone can just listen to it in a short burst. They don't have to sit down for an hour or longer before they can, set that time aside. They can do it in short bursts and they're going to be able to do that more effectively rather than having that long lesson that they have to do at once. Having worksheets and templates means that they're not just listening and taking in information, they're then writing it down, they're interpreting it and applying it to their own situation, and they're going to implement and have that accountability. So they're going to be able to move forward and have action happening all the time. And by doing it step by step, it's a no-brainer. They're not going to be worried and have, people wondering how somebody else is able to do this, but they can't do it. If it's all step by step, then it just makes it so much easier to follow. So that's it. So let's recap these 5 killer strategies to get online and leverage your one-to-one coaching business. So number 1 is to build your tribe and create that group of people who you have the email addresses and names of, plus the people that you're gathering online as well, in social media, the people who are in your Facebook group, the people who are in your community on Facebook, the people who are the people who you're meeting at networking events, the people who are your clients, people you're giving your free stuff to, your tribe. Really, really important to have that as large as possible. Be visible and credible online. So be consistent. Put stuff up all the time. Be the person who's on Facebook every day, not for hours and hours. It doesn't take that long. If you can be online 15 minutes a day, that can be enough. If you're short, sharp, targeted, you go in there, you don't get distracted by your friend's news feed and, what are they doing there on Saturday night? I might pop in there too and go off on a tangent. If you go in there with a plan, you can be in and out in 15 minutes and be very effective with what you get done there. So that social media power is really, really important. Recycle your stuff. So be very clever with what you write and what you put out there, and then brainstorm how many ways you can use it and repurpose it. And programs and automation are the key to being able to get away from working time for money and having that really leveraged business. So my question to you now is, how many of these are currently happening in your own business? Because here's the things, if you really want to have that leveraged coaching business, then it's not just going to happen on its own. So it's definitely not for everyone. Now, at the start of our training tonight, I told you that I would show you the best way to implement this in your own business and take all of this to the next level. So let me show you how to do that right now. So what I would like to do is to offer you a business blueprint strategy session. And this is going to allow us to talk together. This is a 60-minute session, complimentary, free call. We'll do this by phone, and it allows us to plan out exactly how you can implement the strategies that we've talked about today into your own business. Maybe assess what's happening at the moment, what things you have in place, what you would like to have in place, and how we can get you to the situation where you do have those things in place. Now, as I said before, this isn't for everyone. So before we move into that 60-minute call, what I'd like to do first is to organise a quick 10-minute qualifying call to determine whether this is something that's going to work for you and for your business. So, I mean, this is a no-brainer, as I said. This is something that is on your agenda, if you're looking to move online, if you're wanting some help with that, then just book in. I'm happy to talk in the next few weeks. I've put aside a few spots in the next week or so, and this link here goes to my calendar. So I'll send this again to you as well in an email, the follow-up email, so that you'll have it. But if you'd like to go there now, you can book in your session by going to the link in my calendar. And let's just see whether it's something that's going to be worthwhile for you, and what we can do to help you move from your one-on-one time intensive business where you are right now, moving forward to where you would like to be and have that real leveraged business. So that's it for tonight, and thank you so much for your attendance and your attentiveness. I've really enjoyed this session tonight, and I hope that you've got a lot of value from it. So any questions that you have, please pop them up in the chat box. And if anything pops up later after we've finished the webinar, then I'm happy to answer anything by email. And I'll pop out the recording to you so you can have a look at this again later if there are any points that you may have missed, because as I said, I probably talk a little bit fast. I've been told that by my family, and I would love you to not have missed anything, and if you do, then you can follow up again. So again, thank you so much for your attendance tonight, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time. Good night, everybody.